1st November, 31st Sunday of the Liturgical Year A. The readings. The first reading is taken from the book of Revelation, chapter 7, verses 2 to 4 and 9 to 14. The second reading is taken from the first letter of St. John, chapter 3, verses 1 to 3. And the Gospel is taken from Matthew, chapter 5, verses 1 to 12a. When Jesus saw the crowds, he went up the mountain, and after he sat down, his disciples came to him. Matthew, chapter 5, verse 1. My dear sisters and brothers, today is one of the most important days in the liturgical year. Today, the Church celebrates the Solemnity of All Saints' Day, a day dedicated to celebrate the sanctity of life in its totality. It is said that every saint has a past and every sinner has a future. Every human person on earth is born to live a life of sanctity, a life of wholeness, but being thrown into this earth due to the freedom with which God has sent the human beings with fragments of thoughts, so to emerge into a realm of holiness to serve everyone. Today's liturgical readings lead us into a deep reflection on how one could attain the ultimate fullness of life. Jesus, in his famous Beatitudes, brings about the manifold golden moments, how one can grow in the realization of holiness. Above all, I would like to draw your attention to three aspects which Jesus brings about before he spoke about the Beatitudes one may possess to lead a holy life. The first, he saw the crowd. Seeing is nothing but experiencing. It is a process of ad intra fulfillment of the self becoming in touch with the realities of life. Crowd is state of my life where I am not able to come in touch with myself and others. It blocks the clear view of myself. Jesus experienced and came in touch with the reality of the state of crowd with himself, and thus he saw the crowd not only within but also outside the factual existence of the crowd. Upon seeing the crowd, he decided to make a change in his life, and that decision made him to be in union with his Father. That decision was nothing but an attitudinal change to go to his own Father in heaven. It is in seeing the true self one is able to have the vision, as we hear in the book of Revelation. I saw another angel ascending from the sunrise, carrying the seal of the living God. Revelation chapter 7, verse 2. The aspect of seeing leads one to attain the true experience of God, leading one to a saintly life. Secondly, going up the mountain. Going up the mountain shows a movement of ad extra. It is an act of being in relation with God. It is attained through taking an initiative to move from my present stage of life to a new status of existence. Biblical understanding of the mountain leads us to a deeper sense of being in the abode of God. Mountain is nothing but the abode of God, a place where one is able to experience the presence of God. It is in this realm of experience one would become true children of God, as we read in the first letter of John, chapter 3, verse 2. Beloved, we are God's children now. What we will be has not yet been revealed. What we do know is this: when He is revealed, we will be like Him, for we will see Him as He is. Thirdly, He sat down. Sitting down is an experience of the holiness of the transcendent reality whereby one agrees to dwell therein. It is the process of settling down, making a decision to be stable in life. So far, the life has been on a movement, a process of seeing the self and moving from the self to the abode of God, reaching the dwelling place of God one decides to live in. The divine experience leads one to have the desire of remaining there, as it happened to Peter, James, and John at the transfiguration experience of the Lord. It led them to say, "Lord, it is good for us to be here." Matthew chapter 17, verse 4. This is what we come across in the lives of all saints. They introspected their lives, moved forward to be in the presence of God, and sat down there, lived in the state of holiness, though the strife of life in various ways tried to take them away from the indwelling presence of God. Yet they constantly fought against it with mortifications and washing themselves with spiritual waves of beatitudes that Jesus taught them. Let us then, being the followers of Christ, who are in the process of becoming the channel of Christ's presence in the present world, make adequate efforts to see the true self, move on to the abode of God, and indwell the life of holiness in the presence of God within the span of our daily living. May God bless all of us to imbibe the attitudes of Christ and become living saints. Amen.